All right, good afternoon. I'm Steve Wright, and I'm running for State Senate District D out in the Valley. Of course, we know where it's at, from all the way down to Port Mac from Wasilla. We live currently in Meadow Lakes. I was born in Anchorage, Alaska, and when my father was serving here during the Vietnam War, and so I have had 5 sons graduate from the Wasilla high schools. Additionally, we returned to the Valley in 2009. I was serving in the military. At 18 years in service, I was given an opportunity to select my next assignment, which was, I picked Elmendorf Air Force Base, so that wasn't the first assignment I got to pick, but that's another story. I don't have time for that. So I've been involved in politics since retiring from the military. I ran against Don Young back in 2016, and then I also ran against Kevin Meyer back in 2018. Why am I running? To restore the dividend and secure and right-size the budget. The people are first. We need like-minded conservatives to help get Alaska on track, as our district is underrepresented because of, for many different reasons, for votes on the bloated budget, and votes that have affected our dividend. There are no differences between Kathy Giesel and our current representative because of how they voted on the big bloated government programs and the binding caucuses which they support. So I think that it's important that when we look at the permanent fund and how important it is for the locals here in the Valley, that you see that it's been cut over time, starting with the governor. They turned it into a budgetary item, which I'm against. I was a budget analyst for several years in the military, so I certainly can take a look at kind of what they did. Is the only budget item that was really cut, nothing from the operating budget. The only cuts we really had were from the permanent fund. So I think that's a problem. If you look at it over the past 5 years, $8,869 have been taken from every single Alaskan, and that is an overreach. The bottom line is we cannot keep sending the same people down to Juneau and keep getting the same results. I think that, we need non-politicians to clean up the mess down in Juneau. The key to private development and economic activity, I like to think of it in 3 ways. We have the bridge to our future, the rail to our future, and the port to our future. And each of these result in down Port Mackenzie. So on the budget funding, I look at it in 3 ways. You have a third of your budget is from oil and gas. A third of it comes from our shared resource development, from our shared earnings account. And then a third of it comes basically from federal funds. And that's how we're going to get things done. So we must cut and cap the operating budget, restore the PFD dividend through a repeal of the percent of market value, which is a bad deal for the state, and pay a full dividend through historical averages and earnings. Okay, next question, next 2 minutes. Did you want to ask or do you want me to?
You're welcome to just pick the question and answer it.
So what is your chamber's top priority? Okay. I would agree that KGB Road needs to be repaired. It needs to be 4 lanes all the way down to Port Mackenzie. Something that will last and ensure that we have a road to the future, our bridge to the future, and our resource development, which once we connect the rail through Port Mackenzie, which is going to go all the way down to Canada and the lower 48, that's going to be very vital to our economic future going forward. So the reason why I look at this, we have to pay a full dividend. The fund, for example, has earned an average of $4.6 billion over the last 5 years, the average earnings. As we right-size the budget, and basically what I'm saying for that is that after inflation proofing, you have $2.1 billion for permanent fund payment. You have $2.1 billion, which the legislature wants to turn it into any purpose general fund dollars. And I see that it needs to be more structured toward infrastructure. So we need to rely on these funds for infrastructure as we build toward the future. And we need to send like-minded conservatives to Juneau to get these things done. I know that's important. So of the $4.6 billion available, 2.1 is available for these type of things. So we need to leverage our federal funds, leverage our state funds appropriately, and make sure that our earnings are paid to the people. And that's an important thing, and then we'll make Alaska great again. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. We appreciate that.